Good morning, sports fans. Today is Friday, April 24th, 2026. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a sports fan. We are here. We made it. Another week in the books. Got that Friday feeling. And you are watching RateGame Live. This is a show that's hosted by me, that's powered by you. That's right. Fans shape the show. The people that rate the games are the ones that help the talking points, the subject matters, the topics of conversation. So, going to start the show as we do every day, but there's two segments this morning. In addition to hashtag WTSG, there's also Road to 1 million because we are here. Good morning, Kuzi. It is Friday. We have a very nice and tight and tidy show, a lot to cover in not so much time. So I want to get right into it. Were the sports good? Then Road to 1 million. We'll talk about the Knicks losing by 1 again. Are the Mets back? An insane 60 seconds for New York sports fans happened yesterday. And then the moment that I've been certainly waiting for. I'm not so sure about you, but we'll get into a nice little routine here. This is the introduction. This is the very first crack at the final 48. Very excited for this recurring segment. So, without further ado, were the sports good? Guess what, folks? They were. They were good. It was a solid night. 7.13. We're going green on this Friday. That's 15 games played. So, not so much action, but the action was quality. 3 leagues active, 256 ratings within the window for 24 hours, 580 total platforms ratings. So today, that's actually significant. That's actually important because we scroll down here and we see the breakdown. We see that all 3 leagues, wow, 3 leagues were green. That's crazy. Never seen that before. So we have baseball with a surprising 7.32. That's the highest I've ever seen for the Major League Baseball. Congratulations. Then we have the NBA with a 6.93. And then we have the NHL with a 6.77. So green lights, folks, as Matthew McConaughey would say, or did say. I think he wrote that book. It's called Green Lights, right? Yeah. It's like an inspirational book. And a little scatter plot here. All right. So that's fantastic news. Congratulations to us for witnessing incredible sports. How are we doing on the road? The road to 1 million. Okay, so here's how we're clocking. Another week in the books. That's 7 days since we last did this. And we have 220,000 ratings on the platform all time. That's 20.4% of the way to 300,000. Because we are doing this in chunks of 100K. So 20,000, 20.4 makes sense. 220,000 is 22 on the way to 1 million. Also makes sense. Quick maths. 15,000 ratings for the month of April. We finally fixed that and got that right. So that is clocking. Everything's clocking. And we are cruising right along. So that's our road to 1 million. We'll be doing that every Friday from here on out. Just checking our progress as we march toward that 7-figure number. All right. So last night in the great state of the association, we had some basketball. We had some New York Knicks versus the Atlanta Hawks, this time in Atlanta. And even though the venue was different, the Hawks were home, the result was more or less the same. The Knicks become the first team in the NBA to lose back-to-back playoff games by a single point. Fantastic. Versus the same opponent. So the Knicks always find ways to surprise you. How'd it go down? Well, CJ McCollum, again, not a villain by any stretch of the imagination. Guy is just a really good dude, but he is absolutely a bucket getter. And it seems like this series, anytime he sees a Knicks defender, he's licking his lips because it doesn't matter who's on him. He's just going to shoot over them, and the shot is going to go in. So I was watching this one live with my producer. It was hot and heavy there at the end. The Knicks clawed and scratched and found themselves in a position to actually win this game after being down by 18 points. And I was very excited that this would be one of those momentum kind of seminal moments where the experience of the Knicks pays off because all these guys have been here before. The Hawks are young and gritty. And so I thought it would go our way, but CJ had other plans for us.
On the miss, if there is one, are you going to be able to rebound it?
Get it in. McCollum, fire!
Lethal.
Hawks take the lead.
That was quick.
But small lineup here for the Knicks.
Deuce is a good defender too.
And just
so can't be mad at that, right? It's great defense, better offense. Classic case of shooters going to shoot. Can be mad with this though. This I just don't get. So this is like the play that you draw up coming off of that make because you call the timeout. So Mike Brown gets the guys together, says, "Okay, guys, here's our play. I'm going into my bag, and here's the best thing that I got in my bag for us to win this game."
Defender on Brunson.
The Hawks stole one in game 2. It's down to the wire here in game 3. 7 seconds left. Brunson with the ball. Brunson makes his move. Brunson on the baseline. Hawks got to track it down. It's over.
Mess. Absolute mess. So
the Hawks hold on. Atlanta takes a 2-1 lead in the series.
I mean, Brunson's going to be your guy, Mr. Clutch. I totally get it. But maybe like run a back screen for him on the inbound or something. Like, where was this supposed to go? Like, there he is trying to get free. Josh can't find him. So who does he go to? I forget.
On Brunson.
The Hawks stole
Mr.
one
Cat.
in game 2. It's down to the wire
And
here
then
in
Brunson
game 3.
just
7 seconds left.
he just dribbles it off himself.
Brunson makes his move.
Not like him.
On the baseline. Hawks got a track.
Hawks got our number, man. I'm not, it's you can see it clear as day. They're scrappy. They are, I think they might have the best record in the NBA after the All-Star break. Certainly after the Trae Young trade. It's like a completely different. It's insane to me how quickly they've like regrouped and found an identity after Trae Young got traded. And it's also shocking how much he was holding them back. It's actually insane. Would never think that his time in Atlanta would pan out this way. He like 3 years ago, he was like Ice Trae. He was like the corner of the franchise. His dad was coming to every game. He was, running his mouth in Madison Square Garden. They're still saying F Trae Young. It's crazy how quickly that whole thing ended. And now this new Hawks team is very good. I am officially nervous and scared that the Knicks might not win this series. And then I don't even want to think about it. So good news for Hawks fans, bad news for New York Knicks fans, almost really, really bad news for Mets fans. So we'll kind of see if I can get to this point. But basically, the Knicks lost that game. The Mets gave up this grand slam to tie the game after being up 7-3. So we'll listen to this. This is all happening at the same time, concurrently, in real time.
And Jeffers is swinging a fly ball into left field. Back it goes. Deep it goes. Tie game. Ryan Jeffers, an 8th inning grand slam.
Uh-oh. Mets just got back on the right side of the column here with a win, and now they're blowing it back to their old ways, or so you thought. Thank God for Bo Bichette finally stepping up and earning his paycheck. This is the bottom of the 8th. So that was the top of the 8th. They tied it up. You think, oh, here we go. It's going to be terrible. And then Bo Bichette with the bases clearing double in the bottom of the 8th.
Now Bichette hits one toward the gap in left center field, racing back, running. He won't get there. It's off the wall. Beatty is in. Simeon scores. Pham scores. Bo Bichette drives in 3 with a bases clearing double.
That's got to feel good. I think that's his best at bat as a Met so far in this young season. They go on to win 10-8. So tail of the tape here, folks. Knicks and Mets can never win on the same day. It's just kind of part of the rules. I've come to just take that in stride. I get it. They're just never going to be able to win on the same day. So that happens. Now, to top it all off, we have the NFL draft going concurrently. So you have the Knicks, the Mets, the Jets, my 3 teams, all things happening at the same time, just on the day. Never mind the fact that it's like within the hour, within the minute. So this is a real-time reaction from the Jets drafting their pick, the Knicks losing the game, and the Mets giving up the grand slam. So the Jets, of all teams, are the only ones to emerge unscathed in this 60 seconds of chaos.
Of course, you have
the FanDuel logo in the bottom left. It's insane.
on.
Jet, this is
amazing. At the exact same time. Here we go.
the Knicks still got
Here we go. We're gonna attack it early, like I said.
Drive, stop, shoot.
Oh, that's a.
Oh!
But he left
12
seconds on the clock.
Respect it. Sit down.
Oh, really?
It's like I'm showing you now.
Jets.
Come on, Jets.
They took Jets.
I've taken.
Who is it?
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Mitch just blew the lead.
Oh my God!
Only New York, man. Only the Knicks, Mets, and Jets. I swear to God, they're made from the same DNA. It's just like chaotic nonsense that always ends up on like the back page of the New York Post because it's just a shame and it's just like embarrassing. It's classic. It's just a day in the life of a New York sports fan. So wanted to show that gone in 60 seconds. I just ripped through our thing here. The thing that I'll close with before we get into our main event is had this clip from the NFL draft which was last night, of course. So we had round 1 of the NFL draft in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh showed out. I think it was like 300,000 fans, the NFL, I guess, showed up in the city of Pittsburgh. Most all time. They smashed the record which Green Bay had last year. I love the fact that the NFL is doing this this tour of like each city, or each year the draft comes to a new city and they kind of feature and showcase the city. I think it's very, very cool what they're doing and how they're doing it. Imagine the NFL draft used to be at Radio City Music Hall every year in New York, like a stuffy old theater that seats like 300 people that you see the Rockettes at the Nutcracker, and now 300,000 people in Pittsburgh. So anyway, guess who wasn't there? The number 1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza. And I'll just play the clip and then I'll say my piece after the fact. So this is Fernando getting the call that he's been drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders. Listen to the ringtone.
How you doing? Which is Tech. I appreciate you calling. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can't wait to prove it to y'all. Yes, sir. Ready to get to work and ready to learn. Pumped. Thank you again. Bye.
Super wholesome, great guy, great family. Just everything that you want in a starting quarterback, franchise player. But I just couldn't help but laugh at like that is just like the default ringtone, I guess, that you get with your iPhone, which absolutely checks out for Fernando Mendoza. I feel like Fernando Mendoza is like the default settings on like your human being. Like he's just like everything. He's going to greet you perfectly. He's going to say hello in like 5 different languages. He's just as clean as they come. So Raiders get their man, Fernando Mendoza, here in Florida celebrating with family. And that is how the cookie crumbles, folks. So, all right. Mentioned it's a tight show today. We got 12 minutes to do this. So this is an unveiling of what will become a recurring segment because we have 48 days left until the World Cup. Pride of a nation, love of the game. So in the lead up to that, I figure that it would be an incredible opportunity for us to, or for me at least, to talk about each country and kind of showcase and feature a country. So through the advent of technology, I was able to kind of take this vision that I had and bring it to life in some aspects. It's obviously not the fully formed, super robust and analytical thing that I had envisioned, but it's close enough. And I think it'll be cool to kind of do this together. So without further ado, we will present to you the introduction and the first edition of what we'll call the final 48. So 48 days left, 48 countries. Here is our globe, the planet. And just to orient us, right, we have every morning we'll spin the globe, and then wherever it lands, it will be the country that we'll focus on for the day. On the right-hand side, we have the tracker. So as we start to march toward the final day, I guess, well, the final 3 days are locked. So the host, spoiler alert, the host countries are locked. So we'll save those 3 to the end because they deserve it, because they are hosting the thing. And we will make sure that each country gets some shine on this show. So we also have a bracket view, so we can see how many countries we've covered. And we will begin with a spin. All right, ready? So here we go. Without further ado, the first country number 48. Oh, here comes our soccer ball. Portugal. Wow. Near and dear. Okay, so Portugal. Look at this. I think they have somebody on that team that is quite the soccer player. Definitely over the hill a little bit, but nonetheless, he's a super, super handsome fella. All right, so they have 8 World Cup appearances. Here's a little country outline over here. We also can see where in the world they're located. That tiny little guy over there. Wow, very close to Africa. Is that right? Oh, wow. All right, so the little profile. We got the demonym. So that is like what you call I had to learn this. That's what you call or reference somebody who is of that descent, or we'll say of that origin. So you call them Portuguese, obviously. Some of the countries that when I was making this were very interesting. We'll come across some. Largest city is Lisbon. Currency is the euro. Population 10 mil. That's crazy, considering New York is like 8 mil. FIFA ranked number 6, 8 total appearances. Best finish was the semifinals. Here is some quick hitters about their topography. Atlantic coastline, Serra de Estrella. Ooh, that's your middle name. Tagus Valley, Azores, and the Madeira Islands. Okay. Azores. Is that a popular? It's an island. Okay. Major industries, tourism, obviously. Textiles, cork. Okay. Oh, well, I guess you need cork for wine because that's the next thing. Footwear, interesting, and technology. Main exports, vehicles, refined petroleum, paper. There's that wine and cork again. So they're making the wine and the cork, and then they're shipping it out. People are wanting it. Main imports, crude oil, cars, auto parts, and pharmaceuticals. Okay. Now we have a little breakdown of the flag and what it all means. So the green on the left-hand side is the hope of the nation. The red is the blood of those who died defending the homeland. Oh my goodness. Little homage to their fallen heroes. The armillary sphere. Okay, so that's like that gold yellow thing in the middle there. Age of discovery, navigation in Portugal's maritime empire. And the 5 blue escutcheons. King Afonso, the first 5 victories over Moorish kings. The dots inside represent the 5 wounds of Christ. Okay, so very religious. And it is a vertical green-red 2-to-3 ratio with the nation coat of arms on the boundary. Very cool. June 30th, 1911 is when they put that bad boy in place. All right, so culture. They have some iconic dishes here. So sardines. Wow. Oh, pastis de nata. Is that the is that the toast?
No, it's like a dessert with like cream. It's like a cream pie.
It's not the tomato toast?
No.
Oh. That's right. That makes sense. Yep. Did you know Portugal produces 50% of the world's cork? We do now. Mostly harvested by hand from oaks. Interesting. Where would you I really don't come across cork that much, folks. I don't know about you. Wow, that's it though. But it's like this big. I would think that there's like way more wine to cork ratio. All right, key dates. We got, wow. How many?
36 billion.
36 billion bottles of wine. That's a lot of cork. That's a lot of cork. All right, so key dates. We got 1143, Kingdom of Portugal founded. 1498, Da Gama reaches India. 1966, third at the World Cup. Nice. And 2016, the Euro champs. So the most notable people, Vasco da Gama, he was an explorer and a conqueror. Fernando Pessoa. Ooh, one name. You know you're a big deal when you only have one name. I'm going to butcher that. Eusebio. And of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. Of course, he's one of the most notable people in Portugal. All right, so here is Portugal's World Cup history. Now we're kind of going to take a hard look at their resume and how they've done all time in the World Cup. How have they represented? How have they showed up? How far did they go? 8 total appearances. Their best finish, they mentioned in the previous, is 1966, where they made the semifinal. That's impressive. So they were one win away from reaching the final. All time, they've won 18 times, drawn 5, and lost 10. They have scored more goals than goals have been scored against them. Always a good sign. 52-34. And last World Cup. Okay, so the first time they made the World Cup, they went the furthest. Wow. They really set the bar high, and then they've been trying to get back there ever since. So 1966. They came in third. And, okay, last year they made the quarterfinals. That's pretty good. So they got out of the round of 16. No, sorry. They made the round of 16. No. They got out of the round of 16. Quarterfinals is 8. Yeah. Okay. So they were close. They were close. And here's their path to qualification. So this little guy will show us March 19th, 2025, they played Hungary, beat them. Then they whooped Armenia, drew Ireland, and then they played Ireland again. So they took Ireland to task on that second time on that rematch, and they didn't lose. 3 wins, 1 draw. That'll get you in. Very nice. Here's their group. So matched up with Colombia, Uzbekistan, and the DR Congo. Oh man, I can't wait to get to the DR Congo. That's going to be a good one. Here's their schedule. Oh wow, Portugal versus Colombia is going to be insane. Portugal versus Uzbekistan. And then they play the DR Congo at Arrowhead Stadium where the Chiefs play. Wow. It's crazy to see all these football stadiums going to be hosting World Cup games. Quick look at their roster. Ronaldo's confirmed. He will be 41. Let's go. I happen to know another 41-year-old who's ripping it up right now in the playoffs. Might know him. He goes by the name of LeBron. Here's their lineup. You got Cristiano Ronaldo, who plays for Al Nassr. He's on that absurd contract playing in that league. Bruno Fernandes on Man United. Bernardo Silva on Man City. Rafael Leao on Milan. And then Ruben Diaz on Man City. Their captain is Bruno Fernandes, coached and managed by Roberto Martinez. Here's their style and their formation. 4-3-3. 4-3-3 is heavy on individual talent, clearly. Ronaldo's farewell tour. Squad of creators around him. Love that. Want to give him a proper send-off. Here's the tell of the tape, folks. They're a tier 1 contender. Claude has them as a tier 1 contender. Semifinals is realistic. Ronaldo accepts the bench role for knockouts, so he's going to have to humble himself. And I think he's already in the process of doing that. I think he understands the assignment. Bernardo Silva runs the midfield. Am I pronouncing that right? Is that Leao? Leao delivers 1 tournament knockout. Ruben Diaz holds the back line. If it all clicks, Ronaldo's farewell tournament ends with a trophy. Yeah, right. Could you imagine if he won the World Cup after Messi won? That would totally change the narrative because Messi is now the greatest when it comes to the two of them, at least. But yeah, I mean, worst case, quarterfinal exit, Ronaldo screaming on the bench. Martinez resigns before he's fired. I love that. It's pretty extreme here, Claude. So 87% chance to advance out of the group into the round of elimination. 13% chance says they don't. So right at time, folks. It was hot and heavy today. Drove you to the finish line. Portugal is the very first country that we cover here on the Final 48. Tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, where we'll spin the globe again. Take a look back at the globe. Oh, it's okay. Spin the globe again, and we will tackle day 2. We'll get into it. All right. Today's Friday. Let's have a day, folks. Rate some games. My name is Nick Mark George. 11 a.m. tomorrow.